When you're working outside, you need full power all day, no matter what the weather. And the new STIHL ALLPRO battery system for professionals gives you just that. Constant performance and fast charging on the go. Let's get right into it. Welcome, I'm Matt Beadle, and together with Paul Hicks from STIHL Product Management, we're taking a closer look at ALLPRO today. Welcome, Paul.
Thanks very much, Matt. I'm looking forward to talking all about the technology and our ALLPRO batteries today.
As am I. Let's get right into it. There are 5 here on the table. Why is the product range so broad?
Well, we've got a broad range so professionals can pick the right battery depending on the task they're doing.
Right.
If you think of it like a toolbox, going into the toolbox, a hammer might get the job done, but a screwdriver might be more appropriate for the task.
Sure.
So we've got a broad range of batteries. You can pick the right battery and tool for the task at hand. And the batteries do vary in power, working time, and we've got batteries as well that are faster charging. So you can pick the one which is best suited to the job you're doing.
Very nice. We'll talk about the technology within the ALLPROs in a moment, but what sets them apart from other battery systems?
Well, there's 3 key things. With this one, you've got comparable power to your petrol-powered counterparts. There's no loss in performance when moving from petrol to battery-powered tools.
Excellent.
I did mention already, but we've got fast charging. That's really important if you're on a job site and you want to charge as you go as well. You can fast charge really quickly, and that means you don't need to take a huge amount of batteries out to the work site. You can charge as you go or on a coffee break or when you're back at the workshop. So you can take a lesser amount of batteries out with you for the day's work.
Exactly.
And then the third one, but really important, is ergonomics. Now we've got a wide range of batteries with different weights, but they fit really nicely in the tools in the perfect position. So your tools are perfectly balanced, so they're really nice to handle for the professional when they're doing their jobs.
So we got full power, we're ready to go again quickly, and they're comfortable to handle. It sounds pretty much like a strong overall package. Well then, Paul, you know the ALLPRO system inside out. You're part of the product management team. So tell us a little bit about the cell technology inside them. How does it give us that performance that it's got?
Well, the ALLPRO 20 and 30 batteries, they're our standard packs and they use lithium-ion cylindrical high-performance cells.
Right.
Whereas the ALLPRO 100p, 200p and 300p use high-performance tabless cells, so they are our higher performance battery packs.
Okay, so what I'm hearing there is that you've got the standard gear for your day-to-day and you've got your high-tech equipment for those extreme conditions, right? So you've got a battery solution for every situation.
Yeah, exactly that. And our tools have different demands as well.
Yeah.
Our chainsaws and cut-off machines have the highest energy demands, so the tabless cells are right for that and more suited to the high demands that those powerful tools need.
You mentioned tabless there. We hear that word a lot. That's part of the technology here. But you hear different sorts of comments about it. You hear some people say things like, oh, tabless, that's just a marketing gimmick. It doesn't really work. Or, well, if you don't have any tabs, then you don't have enough contact points. So how can the power flow? What do you say to those kind of comments? And what is tabless?
Well, let's try and simplify it because you're right, there is a lot of jargon around.
Right.
Well, in a battery cell, you have an anode, a cathode and a separator in there. The anode and cathode are the contact points where power can flow into and out of the battery.
Okay.
This is what we call the so-called tabs. So in standard cylindrical cells, usually only a single tab is used to transport the current in and out of that cell. And this is where tabless cells differ. So although the term tabless is a little bit misleading, it's instead of a single tab, there are lots of multiple small contact points in there. So that results in a lower internal resistance, allowing the energy to transfer more efficiently. And it also improves the thermal behaviour too. So the cell doesn't heat up as much and it can handle higher currents. So for our professional users, that means higher performance, faster charging and a longer battery life.
Okay, thanks, Paul. But that is still a little bit complex. So we're going to set up a demonstration for you to bring this to life a little bit.
So we've prepared a quick comparison here. We've got 2 containers filled with water, equal amounts. My container has a small opening at the top representing the single tab in a standard cell.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got a wider opening there representing the multiple contact points on a tabless cell, so energy can flow out more freely. So let's give them a go.
Okay, we're going after 3. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. There you are. It's not even close. I'm way finished and the energy's still dribbling out of yours.
Yeah, so that's the benefit of the tabless cell here, is that energy can flow out of the cell much more quickly and more freely for higher performance.
I think the message is clear. Tabless leads to high performance. You often hear frequent charging wears out the battery, not with AllPro system. Here we have up to double the lifespan compared to most AP batteries. So Paul, talk us through the numbers here. How does that work?
Well, we've had a battery life cycle test operational, and what we do is we put the battery in the charger and a machine takes it out and puts it in a high performance machine, in this case a chainsaw, testing the depletion of a battery and the charging of the battery over and over again. Not only that, it's also testing the bidirectional communication between the tool and the battery as well, to make sure it's got not only a long lifespan but reliable through that lifespan as well. In fact, the AllPro system lasts up to 3,000 charges before you see any significant reduction in capacity. So if you're working 200 days per year, charging the battery once per day, that can give you a lifetime of 15 years. So you've got the performance and the durability over that long time, and you're not having to change batteries during that time or replace those batteries, so it saves you money as well.
Very nice indeed.
When you're working outdoors in all kinds of weather, you need to be able to rely on your tools 100%. That's why our teams in development don't just test the battery systems according to the standards and regulations, they go far beyond that. So what does that mean in practice?
Well, I took a look behind the scenes at the place where the batteries are tested under the very toughest of conditions. Here we go. What's behind the impressive performance of the AllPro battery system? The answer brings us here, behind the scenes, to the research and development department. So that the AllPro batteries don't let you professionals down during your working day, they're put through their paces here. Our colleague Fabrizio will talk us through how the tests are performed. Fabrizio.
Hi Matt.
Okay, what have we got here?
We're looking at a freezer which is set to minus 20 degrees Celsius. Let me show you. The fully charged battery was being cooled down.
Okay, let's check that then. Yeah, that's minus 20 degrees. So thanks to the cold start function, the chainsaw still works reliably for professionals despite the cold, with almost no drop in performance. Well, let's start it up. And what's about heat? Because the batteries could have been stored in the back of a hot van.
We also test that with a heat test. We simulate the temperature up to 50 degrees Celsius, like when it's been in the heated warehouse or store, or perhaps in direct sunlight. And we're testing to make sure that the system stays state. The battery system also needs to withstand splashes of water and heavy rain. That's why we do the water protection test. During the charge cycle test, the batteries are charged and discharged hundreds of times to make sure that they perform for many years.
Sometimes the batteries really take a knock and a bump. That's why you test them to be robust and resilient.
So for that, we have a number of different tests, including the drop test. During the drop test, the battery is dropped many times 10% higher than the standard require. And during the test, the battery is protected by the housing of the tool.
And now we're getting serious. It's time for the drum test.
The batteries go into the drum for 2 hours, with the drum rotating 3,600 times. We visually inspect the batteries as well as performing a function test.
Okay, gloves on because it's been running and could be hot. All seems okay. Then, let's take a look. Okay, scratches, yes. Damage, none. AllPro batteries deliver what they promise. Made for professionals. Tested for real life. Thank you, and I'm taking this one back to the workshop. Yeah, and I've got to say, I found that really impressive to get that behind-the-scenes glimpse into how they work there in the test centre. I've got to be honest, I was surprised at the level of dedication and repetition and real quality that goes into the testing procedures.
Oh, absolutely. We take great pride in the focus we put on our testing to make sure these batteries are robust and resilient and stand up to everyday use by our professionals. So in addition to our indoor testing, we also do outdoor testing with real professionals. But what that indoor testing allows us to do is test these batteries under controlled conditions and take them to the absolute extremes. So we can quickly identify any potential weaknesses in them and take mechanical measures to rectify that and make sure that we launch robust, resilient and hard-working batteries for the professional users.
Indeed, and as Paul has mentioned, we've shown you how the indoor test works. Now it's time to take a look at how the professionals have tested the AllPro batteries in the field. So in the video earlier, you saw the test where the batteries were being shaken up around in the big drum, and I took one of the batteries with me and I've brought it here into the workshop. And I gave that to you, didn't I, Paul?
You did indeed. And to check whether that battery still works after those extensive tests, I took it to the team at Worcester College, Oxford University, so they could check its performance there. Let's take a look at that video. The team face a wide range of tasks here, from precision work to tasks that demand real power. And for that, I brought the AllPro battery system. We want to see if this technology can power them through their daily work, and I'm sure it can.
The machine is well balanced and it's really manoeuvrable, so it's perfect on these Yukons where we need that really sharp cut.
The constant power in it I think is amazing. It's great for clearing sites and brilliant for more difficult tasks of getting wet leaves up. Our priority here is our students, which I think with it being quieter is a great plus.
You can really feel that the motor's got plenty of torque when you're cross-cutting, and it's nice and nimble when you're de-limbing. It's nice and lightweight, easy and comfortable to use.
I've been doing a rough cut across this wildflower meadow area, which we manage for biodiversity. Quite a big area, we've got 2 more, so quite a lot to get through. The brush cutter's got very controllable power, so I can use more where I need it and conserve the battery where I need it. So I've got one here, spare here, and I've got one in the machine. I'll change those over at break time, I expect, and with 4 I should be able to get loads done in the morning.
Oxford looking as beautiful as ever there, Paul. What would you say stuck with you most from that trip, though?
Well, it's clear that even after extensive testing, the battery still performed in the real world.
Yeah.
And what also came through was that ergonomics is really, really key. If you take this 300p battery,
thank you.
Simon mentioned that the weight of the tool and the battery in combination was really key to having comfortable working, even for longer extensive tasks. If you feel the weight of a 100p battery,
oh, wow,
there is a big difference between the two.
There's no comparison. That is considerably lighter, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's all about picking the right battery with the right tool for the job, so you can have the best ergonomic experience to get the best job done.
Yes, indeed. And this battery wasn't only tested in the drum test in the R&D centre and in Oxford, we also want to run a few more tests of our own here in the workshop. Okay, let's start with the subject of charging. And you set up a test, which we've got a video of here. Tell us what's happening here.
Well, we've got the 300p battery versus the AP500S battery in the AL1802 MO fast charger. What we'll see here is that the 300p battery can charge up to 80% capacity in as little as 9 minutes.
Right.
And what that means in reality, if you're out in the field, you can have 2 batteries in the fast charger, one being charged, one being used, and just keep cycling them over, and they can get you through your entire day as well.
Very good. MO, you said in the product title. What does that stand for?
That stands for mobile. You can carry the charger around and take it around the work site, and it's outdoor, so it's protected against rain splashes with the cover on there as well. So it's a mobile outdoor charger. You're good to go when you're out and about. Very nice. Okay, so that means with the new AllPro system, you're back in action faster for a continuous, efficient workday. So there's no more annoying wait times. You won't even have time to finish that tea or coffee before the battery is charged. And just as quickly, we're going to switch around the workshop here for the next test, which is constant power. We've learned that the performance of AllPro batteries is absolutely comparable to petrol, but often with less noise and fewer emissions. However, many professionals believe that the power gradually fades as the battery runs low. But that's simply not true. With constant power, you get full performance almost right to the end, just like with a petrol-powered tool. And now we're going to prove it to you in our very own test. What have you set up here for us, Paul? Well, this test is effectively a demonstration of a constant power feature of our AllPro batteries. Yeah. Set up in the rig here, we've got the BGA 250 blower that can absolutely deliver constant power. When the blower is activated, it pushes this plate, lifting the weights on the end. If it were to experience any loss in performance, the weights would simply drop. Sure. Now, we've set up this demonstration for a direct comparison against one of our competitors as well. Let's check that out. So it's important to note that both tools have comparable performance, they have similar batteries, and both batteries are fully charged at the start. So as we go into the test, both devices blow against the plate, and as you can see, while the competitor product delivers similar performance at first, it clearly drops off during that discharge cycle. So as the RPMs decrease, the weights can no longer be suspended by the airflow and they drop. It kind of reminds me of my electric toothbrush, you know. At the beginning you got loads of power, and then a few seconds later it's
It's not as good, right?
Yeah, that's a great everyday example. But the battery management system in the AllPro batteries actually monitors voltage. So naturally, with a lithium-ion battery, voltage drops as you use that battery. We actually increase the amps to compensate, to give you constant power all the way through.
When it comes to new battery systems, it's important that they work with the older machines. No one wants to be carrying around a bunch of different batteries. Having a separate battery for every tool would really bother me personally, but the AllPro makes that easy. Paul, one battery system for 80 STIHL devices, right? Is that true? And how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Since we brought out the AP system of battery tools in 2009, high compatibility has been a real focus of ours. So this head trimmer here from 2016 fits in our latest generation of batteries. We've got the 200p battery.
Very nice.
In there. And that's also compatible with our latest generation of chainsaws with the MSA 260 here as well. Now, of course, with these tabless cells, they do flow a higher level of current. So there are protection mechanisms in some tools to make sure that they don't get overloaded.
Excellent, very helpful. So could I theoretically put any battery in any device?
Pretty much. They are compatible between batteries, chargers and tools, but there are some limits as well. So with our standard packs, they may work with reduced power in certain highly demanding tools like the MSA 260 here.
Yeah, that makes
but
sense.
High compatibility is really, really key. So we have got your ecosystem of batteries and chargers that you've already got will work with the latest generation of tools and vice versa.
Thank you very much. One battery for many machines. That saves space, that saves money, and it saves time. If you want to know which battery fits into which tool, you can find all of that information online, or of course you can ask your local dealer, or you can also find the answer directly on the packaging. Okay, so we've talked about the AllPro system today. We'd like to focus specifically on the 300p for the next couple of minutes. Why is that so important, Paul?
Well, we've got two versions of the 300p, one with STIHL connected built in and one without.
STIHL connected. If I don't know that already, what is that?
Well, that's a technology that actually sends data from the battery over through to your smartphone or the STIHL connected box and into the STIHL cloud, so you can access useful data about the batteries to help you make decisions about your fleet management. There's some really useful features in there too.
Useful data, useful features. Give us some examples of how these features might help the professionals in their work.
Well, it helps you get the most out of your batteries. So you can look at the current charge status of your battery, you can look at battery health, you can even choose to fast or slow charge your batteries. So for instance, if you're charging overnight, you can charge a little bit slower. That prolongs your battery health. You can look at the last known location of your batteries too. So perhaps if you've lost a battery and you want to try and find it again, you can see where it was last connected. In addition to that, you can also identify a battery on the shelf. So perhaps you've got a fleet of a number of batteries and you want to find one particular battery, you can send a request to it to flash its LED lights so you can simply pick the right one out. STIHL Connected has been built into our batteries for quite some time now as well. So if you've already got a connected battery, you can simply download the STIHL Connected app and see all that useful data in there.
That was a lot of information about the new AllPro battery system. Let me quickly sum up what's most relevant for you professionals. Powerful battery all day to get the job done. Fast charging wherever you are, on the go. We learned that from the professionals in Oxford. Light means ergonomic, and that means comfortable and easy to use. Heat, cold, rain, no problem for AllPro. Who's already tested the AllPro battery? Drop us a comment and let us know how it's working for you and whether it meets your expectations. You certainly met my expectations today. Thank you for everything as ever, Paul.
Thanks, Matt. You're very welcome.
And thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new videos. See you next time. Bye-bye.